Alright, so today I'll be working on a Toshiba C655D-S5138. Alright, so this one we're replacing the bottom case on. It has broken hinges on the bottom case, not the hinges on the LCD itself, as far as I know. So we're going to remove the battery. I'm going to remove the hard drive and memory. I have this little screw here holding the hard drive. Okay, so then we'll just put that aside. Make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing here. Let's zoom in. Alright, that's good. Alright. So I gotta remove the RAM cover. So all of these are gonna be transferred over. Alright, so then we're gonna remove the tape that is on this case here. Alright, so just move that out of the way, like so. I'm going to remove this part here as well. Alright, so there's a, looks like, okay. There's going to be some screws attached to the hinges in there. Okay, so now all of these are all the same size, and Toshiba marks them F6 and F3s just so that you know that the screws are in different sizes. So just start removing them, and then we're just going to go ahead and remove all the ones around the case. And I'm going to pause it so that I'm not sitting here just running time down on my video. So I'll be back once I'm done with that. Alright, so I remove the one that holds the optical drive, then you just slide it out. Set this aside. I think there's like a total of 17 screws, including the one for the optical drive. Alright, so now, and then that's of course the ones that I couldn't take off. And then under the optical drive you have two screws that are real tiny little things. They're flat, like the ones under the battery there. So let's remove those. Alright, set this aside. Now let's take a look. Seems like there's no other screws. Always want to make sure that all the screws are out before you start trying to pry things open. Okay, so since this is all broken, this is coming apart already. As you can see, this is pretty much ready to come out. Now, there are wires under there, so I'm not just going to yank it off because that would be stupid. But you see these hinges, they're just busted off already. Okay, these are the screws here that are supposed to hold it into the case. Alright, so now there are, so let me take a look down here again. I'm probably going to have to come up from the bottom down here because I can't really, there we go. Alright, so it's just the ribbon cable for the touchpad. This is really difficult. You see that right here, there's the ribbon cable there. This is very difficult to deal with because it is so broken that it just doesn't want to stay. So there we go. So it's, you got your speakers, keyboard, okay? And I was going to take the keyboard off, but since it came off while I was trying to open the lid, it kind of didn't allow me to do that. So in order to remove the keyboard, you would just simply remove this. And I'm going to remove it because I have to, or else it's going to be a pain to get it back in on the non-broken bottom case. So then we have 4 screws. This one's missing a screw I see here on the keyboard. So that's not a big deal. Okay, so then we'll just simply remove the keyboard, and then from here you would be able to disconnect all the other ones. Everything came off, so I had no choice on that one. Not how I normally operate, but then let's move this palm rest out of the way. So now we're going to remove the antennas, and then you notice white and then black, right? So what I do is I just like to mark. Where's my black marker? I have one. There it is. Alright, just get the black marker out, and then just a little dot so you remember where the black one goes. I mean, they're only a certain length for a reason. So then let's get the DC jack out of the way. The antenna it's taped down right there. This one just goes into the grooves. Then we have the LCD cable. Let's remove that. Now we have this entire LCD assembly out. So now that we have that out, let's set this aside. Alright, and if I remember correctly, this LCD assembly has got some screws, something going on right here, like a epoxy glue or something. Open these up, see if we can remove them. Alright, so this is the one screw that goes on the bottom of the unit. It's missing a screw on this side over here. And then I see that, well, these are kind of wobbly, but not too bad. Well, probably going to remove the bezel and then tighten up that hinge. So I'm going to take my razor blade, I'm going to scrape off the glue or rubber epoxy or whatever was used to try to mend it. Alright, so there's that. There's one side, and then we'll scrape off the other side. Well, it looks like it came off just pretty easy. Alright, that's good. And then we're going to need to remove the screws that are stuck on here on this one. So, okay, where are... And of course, whenever I need them, I can't find my pliers, so I'm going to improvise. I'm going to use these wire strippers. All I have to do is just hold the little nut that the screw goes into in order to remove it. So, okay, there's one. Okay, so then get that out of the way. And then let's get the bottom one. Okay, let's see if I can get it up. Really, I gotta get this. And this will probably, this is more work than what you normally have to do. So let's get that black piece off of there. Now I should be able to hold on to. Let me slide it so you guys can hopefully see what I'm doing. Okay. Alright. So there's another screw. So you have 2 screws that go here. And let's see, this one looks like a longer one. I don't know why it's there. I might have a replacement one for that one. I'll have to look at another Toshiba that I have laying around here. So now I have to remove the screws for this hinge on this side here. Break off all this little plastic that's left so that I can get a grip of the little nut there, and then remove the screw. So there it is. Alright, there's another one. Get that off of there. And then I gotta slide my razor blade down and then just break away at the epoxy that was used and also the plastic that was stuck to the epoxy. So then now I can hang on to it and then remove the screw here. Perfect. Alright, so now we have those 4 screws. I'll have to find 2 screws to put on the bottom of the unit. And then before we put the LCD together, I will take the bezel off, tighten the hinge on the left hand side. We're done with that for now. Let me clean this off as best as possible. Okay. Alright, so now back to this bottom case here. Let's see how much time we've got going on. Oh, 11 minutes? That's not bad. Okay, good. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit and then get it to focus. Alright, that'll be good. So we have the DC jack on the side over here. We're just going to get that loose. Now, here's the fan. We're going to disconnect it. Just going to let it hang there for a little bit. These Toshibas normally only have 1 screw holding them in. And it's right here. I mean, they normally do only have 1. So, as you can see, okay, we're going to remove the fan. It's 1 screw, it looks like. 1 on this side and then 1 over here on the other side. And then we'll go ahead and we'll clean the fan as well. Oh, there's 1 right here. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and I'll get air and blow that out so that it's clean. Okay, that's all there is to it. So now we have the motherboard out. We'll remove this case, put it aside. Now I am going to have to remove the stickers and whatnot, the labels off of that bottom case and put it on the new one. So before I do anything, I'm just going to go ahead and take microfiber cloth and just wipe some of the dust away. I see the heat sink is got some vents that are clogged. Okay, so now I'll remove this. Gonna get some new thermal paste on here. Yep, alright. Barely any on there, so let's see. I don't know if I have a Q-tip around or not. I'll have to use another rag. Got a bunch of them, so not a big deal. Oh, I already got one out. This is great. Okay, so now some isopropyl alcohol and we'll just clean this stuff off. Go ahead and clean it off of here. Nice and clean. And we'll clean it off the chip. And you gotta be careful. I don't want to knock any of the little components on the chip off. So okay, cool. Now and I'm just blowing into the vents with my mouth. And this heatsink was a little bent, so I'm just bending it back. All right. Now I'm just gonna wipe some of the fins off, and hopefully that'll get some of the crud off the edges there. All right, great. So now this goes like this. Okay, so let's clean this off of here. All right. Just very little amounts of thermal compound because it's a small chip. Okay. And then now, just gonna line up the screws. Tying that down. Okay, great. Now let's grab the new case, which is right here. Let me get the alcohol out of the way. Let's set the motherboard in. Line up the microphone and headphone jacks, and then everything just kind of sets in there nice and neat. Okay, and then gotta line up that DC jack there. Alright, great. So now we set the screw back in here. Okay. Get the fan. Drop that into place. Screw. And the little black screw that goes on the opposite side over here. Okay. Plug up the fan. It's plugged in now. Open up the connector locks for the ribbon cable for the keyboard and the touchpad. Okay, so let's see. Get that crap out of there. There's a bunch of plastic pieces from where it was broken. Get that out of the way. Alright. So set that back into place there. There's the DC jack. Okay, so now get the palm rest. Okay, and then we're just gonna see if that'll go in there really good. Okay, so let's do the LCD now. Oh, and then I wanted to clean off the LCD, so let's move that. I'm gonna tighten off the not clean it, but I wanted to tighten the hinge. So we have, looks like 4 screws that hold the bezel. I just stick them right there on the sides there. Alright. Perfect. So let's remove these screws. Okay, and then should be able to just run our fingers along and undo the locks. The little pins here, there's little tabs that lock it into place. And okay, then we take our pry tool, if we can't get it, and then we just pop it. Same thing over on this end, just grab it and come in from one end and pop it. And then we'll just, there we go. Now we're able to remove the bezel. And then let's tighten. There's that one, and then let's tighten this one just because. Oh yeah, nice and sturdy. Perfect. Alright, so now let's put this back on. Alright. If I can get it back on here. There we go. Get these out of the way. And then just simply pinch all the way around. And I'm sorry if you can't see that on the camera now. Just going around it. And pinching it shut. So now we can grab our screws. Did they ask me to do this? No. But I noticed this loose, why not do it? You saw it was quick. People appreciate the little things that they don't ask you to do, and you just take care of it. Okay, so there's that one. Put the covers back on the screws. Perfect. Now I'm going to just clean the glass. Clean this LCD up. Now it looks like it's all hazy, but then that's okay, because we're going to be hitting it with the microfiber cloth, and that'll get it clean. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. Okay, great. So there's that. So now we'll the bottom case, get this in place. Drop that in. Get the DC jack out of the way, and then we're going to put in one screw on one side, and then we'll do the other hinge. This one will hold it. Then we'll set this one down. There we go. Now it's going to be nice and sturdy. Not going to be flopping around. Client's going to be happy. Okay, so now, if I remember correctly, it went Wi-Fi antenna, and that, and this drops in right here like that. Like this. Okay. And then we'll just drop this antenna back here like that. Then we'll connect the LCD. Okay. That's that. And then this one ran on the top here, like this. Okay, and then out through there. And then, alright, plugged in. There we go. Palm rest. Okay, so then now I'll grab my tweezers. Then we'll just plug these in. Like that. Alright, cool. And then we'll grab this one here out of the way. And this one you could just grab with your hands. Lift up the locking tab. Drop it into place. And I'm assuming you guys can see what the hell I'm doing. Alright, cool. You guys have been able to see it. Great. Because I forgot that I had adjusted it. And I gotta move the DC jack out of the way. So let's take this and then zoom out. I know you guys are looking at my hand right now. Okay, and I see what's going on. Okay. There we go. Let's get this lined up so that the groove goes in there. Okay. Come on. Let's see. Okay, so we'll hold it. Okay. For some reason, this is not sitting in there right. So I'm going to look at the old case, and it looks like the part that is not clipping on is the part where the DC jack sits. It's not sitting flat. Okay? And I'll show you in just a second what I mean. Let me make sure that you guys can see what I'm looking at. So right in here, let me see if I can get it to focus to that little point. Okay, so right there, the DC jack has a gap to where it's supposed to slide in. So what I'm going to try to do is cut these. Looks like it's not going to fit in there right. I don't know why. If the case is correct, and this is a customer provided one, a client provided this case, so okay, well, maybe it'll be fine that way. Let's go ahead and close it and see what it looks like. Just give me a second here. No, that doesn't look right to me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back in here again, because I just can't send it like that. So we're going to find out why it looks the way it looks and why it's not sitting properly. So I'm looking over here, speaker's broken off on this end of the palm rest, so let's see. That's not good. But then I'm looking at the DC jack area, and maybe what is going on is not, I wonder in the world, this is supposed to fit within this piece because it sits like that. Okay, so if it sits this way, it should fit, should cradle it like that, and it's fitting in there, so I don't know why. Okay, so that's fitting. I don't know why it's not sitting flat. And if it doesn't work, then I'm just gonna have to cut this off so that it does fit, or not that, but I can cut the grooves within here to give it more room. I'm just going to cut a little bit off of it. And you can see this is where a screw goes, and that's broken off too, so maybe should have replaced the palm rest as well. I'll make it work. Just have to make it work. Just gotta do it. And then what's going on is that it's not fitting. Like, it goes into the groove, but it doesn't go into the groove, you know what I mean? Alright, so we'll move this computer out of the way real quick like this, and then work on the palm rest.